by a couple of days and express my gratitude for you being with us and to the Institute team for making this possible. I hope you all are well and safe wherever you're joining us from. And please join me next week as we express gratitude to all the frontline workers striving to keep us safe. I am your co-host, Win Shoneman from District 5000 in Hawaii. Please welcome our co-host for the session from the Rotary Club of Kirksville, Missouri, 2010-2011 Rotary International President, Ray Klingensmith. Also, I would like you to welcome from the Rotary Club of Anaheim, Rotary International Vice President, Zone 2627 Director, Jurita Solari. Joining us from the Rotary Club of Oakland Uptown, please welcome past Rotary International Director, Brad Howard. And please give a warm welcome. I know she's not here yet, but please give a warm welcome to Rotary International Zone 2627 Director-elect, Vicki Pullitz from the Rotary Club of Sparks, Nevada. Once again, thank you for joining us. Now for some quick housekeeping rules. Please use your camera so we can see you. Please ensure your name and district governor year are visible. For the comfort of others, please keep your microphone muted. And please use the chat box whenever you want to communicate. Last but not least, due to the limited time we have together, we will not be accepting questions during the session. Mike Owen from Crystal Basin Cellars has agreed to stay with us after the session to connect with you and answer any questions you may have. And thank you. Our co-host is Ray Klingensmith, who served as Rotary International President in 2010 with the theme, Building Communities, Bridging Continents. For more than 20 years, he served as legal counsel for Truman State University. And from the online videos I've seen, he's an accomplished dancer. When you find his video presentation on Cowboy Logic, take some time. It's well worth listening to. And you need to know that without Ray's foresight, passion, and commitment, there might not be a fellowship for past district governors. We welcome past Rotary International President, Ray Klingensmith. Ray?
Thank you very much, Win. Delighted to be with you. Can you hear me? There.
Yes, we can hear you fine, sir.
Pardon me?
Yes, we can, Ray.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm delighted to be with you as past district governors. I think as a group that past district governors deserve more credit for the success of Rotary than any other group. I also think that they're often the most underappreciated group in Rotary. And that's why I helped to start the PDG's Fellowship to give us more opportunities to stay involved, to stay interested, retain our commitment and our enjoyment of Rotary. And earlier on the screen was a website for the new fellowship. It's 10 years old now. And if you haven't looked at the website, I encourage you to do so. Membership cost is only $10 a year. And we're always welcome to your suggestions about what we can do to make the fellowship even better and more effective in honoring our past governors. Now, at this time, I would like to introduce a woman who really needs no introduction, Jurita. Not only did she conduct the best zone institute I've ever attended last year in Denver, this virtual institute has been a great accomplishment, and I want to congratulate Jurita for that. And it's just really, it's also, yes, thank you. And Jurita is the person who helped me the most in starting the fellowship. So it's quite a coincidence that now as we talk about the PDG's Fellowship, that I have an opportunity to introduce the Vice President of Rotary for the year, Jurita Solari. Jurita?
Oh, thank you, Ray. You are awesome. You know, I cannot tell you how wonderful it is to be able to work with you, Ray. You know, a lot of people don't know that you were international president when I was a governor. So we've been connected for a long time, and I'm looking forward to a lot more connections as we continue on. And you know, Ray, you're a pretty humble guy, because this fellowship is your brainchild. And it was my honor to work with others and you to kick it off. But without you, this would not have happened. So thank you for everything that you've done. Now, I understand that, you know, past district governors, we all have to live with this well, engagement. I think it would be an engagement issue. And as Ray said, we're probably the biggest group of underutilized Rotarians in Rotary, but there are only so many positions and only so many things that can be done. But I have to tell you, I am really excited, honestly excited about the opportunities that are coming up that are now here for past district governors. And that has to do with membership. I tell you, the trend in North America has been that membership has been dropping, and the directors in North America actually got together and talked about this and devised a plan. I've been working with Director-elect Vicky for a while, almost a year now, and we've devised a plan to work with all 30 districts in the Big West to develop a multi-year membership plan. And that is based on two factors. One, starting new clubs, and two, how to create a valuable Rotary Club experience. This is a tremendous opportunity for past district governors to get involved on a club level, on a district level. You don't have to be nominated to do it. You can just let folks know that you're interested in helping out in your district or in your club, to either to start a new club or talk about how we can have a better, valuable Rotary experience. So with that said, I'm going to hand it back, I think, to Wynn for to tee up some. I think we have some questions that we're going to send people into a breakout room with. Is that true?
We do. You know what?
Awesome.
We actually have immediate past district governor Bill McElroy, who's going to tee those questions up. He's got a couple of slides, and he will actually handle the breakout. So we're
Awesome.
really fortunate to have Bill with us, and thank you.
So welcome, everybody. We originally had about 140 people sign up. We have about 40 people in the room right now. So we've shrunk down the room size. These are the questions that you'll be answering. Now, some of the rooms have 2 moderators in there right now, but the moderators are identified by the number 1 or by the number 2. The number 1 is for question number 1 that you'll be working with, and that is, as a past district governor, how can you create a valuable club experience for each member of your club? And for the rooms that have a moderator with the number 2 involved, the question is, as a past district governor, how can you support new club development in your district and your club? So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put this and launch you over to the rooms right now. And if you have any questions, the moderators can go ahead and answer your questions. They've been and they know what their questions are. So when they come back, the moderators will report back to us and find out what the discussions were about. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the rooms now.
Easier report out.
Yeah.
Yeah, be quicker.
Hi, Marta.
Hello, Marta.
Hang on a second. Well, this is Bill. Can I help you?
Oh, they're all coming back. It's so awesome.
We didn't have a choice, you know. Yeah, I was just gonna say, we didn't come back because we wanted to.
Yeah,
All right,
no.
you can
I
finish
thought-
your sentence.
You
I
want
thought we had 20 minutes.
Were we having, you had 10 minutes?
I thought we had 20 minutes, sorry.
So 10 minutes for report out.
Well, Mr.
Get
Snyder,
with
you
the
were cut
program,
off.
Tarita.
I'm just a participant.
We thank you for that too.
You tired, Brian?
Wen, can you quickly unmute yourself? We have a quick situation that we have to clear up. I'm going to ask Wen to unmute himself, please.
What's up?
Wen, can you email Mike?
Sure.
Invite him at the bottom as I handle this next segment.
He doesn't have a link?
No, he doesn't have a link. If you go at the bottom of the page in the participant, you'll see an invite page and you can use your email and email it to him. So it links right into him. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. So welcome everybody back to the breakout rooms. What we're going to do is something, we have very little bit of time, but we'd like to hear some of the comments that you are actually having during these breakouts. I'm going to be sharing a screen in here that's going to allow me to go ahead and take some notes. What I'd like to do at this time is to have some of the rooms report back as far as to the first question. And the first question, I'll probably start off with Joan, for instance, because she was number one on my list. But as a past district governor, how can you create a valuable club experience for each member of your clubs? And remember, give about 45 seconds would be great. Unmute yourself, and then we can go to the next person. So, Joan, what was a couple of points that you heard in your room?
Okay, thanks, Bill. I'll try and be quick. We had a number of ideas about telling stories to club members, about past district governors telling stories to club members about all different kinds of experiences that they've had in Rotary, making sure club members know the history of the club, because we always have a lot of new members. They have no idea about what's going on. So how we do things, what worked, maybe what didn't work, but just knowing the history of the club. Educating people about Rotary worldwide, not just at the club level, and just getting a general knowledge about Rotary. Helping elevate relationships in the club, knowing our members. We can also help by being a part of the leadership of the club. That always helps. Somebody mentioned doing an icebreaker each week, telling tidbits about each other. And also getting stories from what Jane called classic Rotarians. In other words, not using the older vibe. So
Okay.
that sounded good.
Good. Well, I thank you so much. The next person, Clint, if you've heard anything, by the way, there's no reason to repeat it, but Clint, is there anything you can add to that list?
Well, thank you very much. Things as simple as sitting with the new members and introducing those new members around the club, because obviously many of us have deep relationships in our home clubs. Smiling and making people feel special was something that our group came back with. And making sure that, as Joan said, that we talk about Rotary as a global organization, and making sure that our new members in each of the club members that we come in contact with leaves feeling like they're a part of something bigger, with good feelings about our organization.
I appreciate that. Again, nothing, please don't repeat anything, but Wade, is there anything that you can add to that list?
Actually, I was on number 2 because we were mixed in the class. Clint and I had to share a class, so I'm on 2.
Okay, no problem at all. And Nancy, you're up. Is there anything else that you can add to the list?
Yes, and I actually am supporting John because he got question 1 and I took notes. Take and stop firing ideas and small actions of support to your club leaders. Be the voice of history about the club and Rotary. Be present, attend, be there.
Ooh, I like that one.
Give resources to the club, and also always observe the delicate balance and avoid being overbearing.
Okay. And then finally I have John. John Dreyer, can you go ahead and add to the list at all?
No, that was basically Nancy took notes in ours, so that was ours.
Good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to question number 2, which is over on the screen here. As a past district governor, how can you support new club development in your district and your clubs? And on the top of my list right here is Claudette. Claudette, feel free to go ahead and start the discussions.
Thank you. If we're going to grow Rotary by enticing new members, one of the things that we're going to need to do is to meet their needs. And one of the suggestions we had was that we look at the community and determine what it is they need, the different population groups. And in terms of being flexible in how we have our meetings and the types of clubs that we have. So that we talked about Rotaract clubs as they become transitions into regular clubs, and they are regular Rotarians with full membership now. We talked a lot about satellite clubs also as transitions, as a way to introduce people into Rotary. But we talked a lot about cause-based clubs. In other words, clubs that are focused on, say, a particular subject like combating human trafficking. And Tim was kind enough to point out that affinity clubs are a little different than cause-based, and noting the transitions that we're seeing from fellowships to actual Rotary clubs. And Elsa told us about ethnic clubs. In terms of increasing diversity and the different age groups. And so what we can do as past district governors is to make the array of potential club available to leadership, and we can provide our assistance. Joe is offered to be a district representative to assist in that. So,
well, thank you so much, Claudette. That was a really good report. I'd like to go ahead again, if you've already heard about it, no reason repeating it, but Eric, is there anything that you can add to this list?
Yeah, one thing that jumps out that was mentioned, Ray Klingensmith talked about taking advantage of the relaxed rules for membership and joining clubs. And so this is relaxed rules in regards to meeting and service projects and attendance and everything else related to council and legislation changes the last few years, and the way that clubs are taking advantage of virtual meetings and Zoom now. There's no reason why this can't be a subset of our population of clubs going forward, taking advantage of all these types of relaxed rules. Steve was also in my club, in my group. Anything else you picked up on that wasn't already mentioned?
Well, the only thing I would add, Eric, is certainly 2 of the folks in our group have already found success in cause-based clubs. And other than that, I think that was about it.
Well, thank you so much, Eric and Steve. Let's go on to Joe. Joe, do you have anything to add? You can unmute yourself, Joe. Okay, looks like Joe, feel free to come in when you get a chance, and I'll just go ahead and go to Roz right now. Roz, do you have anything to add, Roz?
Pretty much a lot of what you've said was discussed, but bottom line is to know your district and know your area, share your experience, show up and show support.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I appreciate that. Who's this? Is this Joe?
Yeah.
Joe, I can barely hear you, but go ahead.
Oh, I love computers. There, how's that?
Perfect.
As I mentioned in the group, being a mentor for new clubs, chartering new clubs, they need a governor's representative. And I think it's perfect for PDGs to jump in and take that. I've also met with groups who are interested, and trying to educate our district that there are affinity clubs, action club, areas of focus. There's also age. We have younger clubs, older clubs, mixed clubs, the different thing. I think with branding, we need to get out a little bit more to say that Rotary is new and all the different types of clubs we have.
Yep.
And I think we'll get more interest from non-Rotarians who aren't up to speed that we don't meet on Tuesdays and have lunch.
I appreciate everybody's time and effort during this exercise. What I'd like to do at this time, as you can see, I'm making notes. I'm going to share this with Julie. Also,
Hey, Bill.
Go ahead.
Bill.
Yes.
There was one other thing that came out in our session that I thought was spot on, and that was if districts actually had a task force or a group within their own district to really be the mentor of new clubs as they're chartering and starting up, even though clubs have a sponsoring club. But if the district had a committee or task force that could just stay connected with the new clubs and make sure they're getting everything that they need. I thought that was just really good that was brought up.
I actually like that one, Tina. And Nancy, this is the last statement because we have to move on.
Yes, thank you. Because there's our group took it more to the personal level, was don't be part of the resistance. Recognize when people are not supporting new club development, don't fight it, and get around their resistance. But also, and remind them that it's not a competition, that we're sister clubs. It's okay for people to move. And the other thing is to be really alert when someone expresses a need for like, well, I can't meet at certain times and we don't have a club. That's when we can start putting encouragement out there.
I appreciate that so much, Nancy. Thank you so much. Wynn, I'm going to turn it back to you, sir.
Okay, great. Did Mike Owen join us, or are we going to lose out on that?
I'm right here.
Mike, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I got to
thank
thank Tina for getting me invited.
Okay, great. Let me get back to where I was at, and I think we're here. I need. All right, so the town of Camino, California lies nestled in the foothills midway between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe, gold country. Crystal Basin Cellars was started under a house high in the Sierra Nevada mountains as a fun project with friends, making wine from local fruit for pure enjoyment. Over 28 years, it's morphed into a thriving enterprise. And while still focused on showcasing fruit from El Dorado County, 30 miles around the winery, customers are now in 44 states with almost 2,000 passionate wine club members. CBC's wines lead in quality as they've won 89 medals in 2019, including 17 gold medals and 3 Best of Class awards. Best of all, most of their staff members have been with the winery approaching 10 years, leading CBC to provide what they like to call legendary foothill hospitality. Here to represent Crystal Basin and to talk about how wine may fit into a vegetarian meal and lifestyle is Mike Owen, founder, CEO, and El Jefe of Crystal Basin Cellars. Mike?
That's quite a lead-in, Wynn. Thank you very much for that. I'm here to dispel a couple of rumors, and one is that wine isn't fun. We can make wine fun, and that's what we're here to do today. Another one is to dispel the fact that red wine has to be paired only with meat. And so when Tina said, well, can you do some vegetarian conversation around this? Because we want to explore that as an option. I said, absolutely. Maybe you don't have to eat meat every day. And then all kinds of different flavors go together. One of the things you learn about, that I've learned about wine, is it's all about flavors. And it's not just the experimentation with flavors, but really the celebration of flavors. Can you imagine only having oatmeal for the rest of your days? Or can you only imagine just having Cabernet Sauvignon for the rest of your days? I mean, really one of the coolest things that you can do is explore flavors. And so what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to walk you through a few wines here, but really more the conversation about what we're doing here and introduce you to some wines you might not have had. So I don't know exactly what the rules are for Rotary, but I encourage everyone to have a beverage at least within reaching distance. And it's Zoom, so you can use a coffee cup and no one can tell what's in it. And this is one of the cool things about the new world and the new technology. Nancy's in the game. I see what's going on. So what I always like to do when you come in, and Tina can tell you that I'm just going to go from what we do anyway. I always like to start with some bubbly. And bubbly is, in this case, just not really sweet, but not dry either. It's some sort of in the middle. And the reason that you start your wine tasting efforts with bubbly is largely because it clears your palate. You might have had coffee in that coffee cup. You might have had gum. You might have had brush your teeth recently. And so the first wine that you have in the day is going to be jarring. So starting with bubbly is a great way to go. Now, what vegetarian things go with bubbly? Just about anything. The nice thing with bubbly is the bubbles make your palate get clean. Now, I got to ask this question. Does vegetarian in this in situation include any fish? Can we talk about fish? Or is it pure just plant-based diet? And lacking that, I'll talk a little bit about fish as well, because I've found some red wine pairings that do well with fish. And I think it's part of dispelling the rumor of what can and can't be done. So I like to work with some bubbly to get the palate clean. And believe it or not, it's 4:26 here and I haven't had anything to drink today. That's a rarity for me. I was traveling largely, so that's my excuse. Normally I'm testing, and it's somebody's got to do the hard work. So enjoy, clink with me, clink with you. Here's to Rotary. And so what do you do when you move away from the paradigm of red wine and meat? And why did that paradigm come into existence anyway? Meat is fatty, and our bodies are set up to respond to fat, and that's why things taste good. Whether it's olive oil creating that fat, or whether it's butter creating that fat, or whether it's meat. And what red wines have is tannin, and so tannins basically remove the fat off of your tongue via a chemical reaction. Now, it's not that complicated. It sounds like the chemical reaction in your mouth doesn't sound very attractive, but that's really what's going on when you have a steak and you drink Malbec or Cabernet. What's happened is that heavier red is cleansing your palate. Well, what else is out there? And what do you do with ratatouille? I don't know. What do you do with a great garlicky lasagna? Or what do you do with pesto? And all these other things that, and grilled mushrooms with goat cheese. And I'm getting hungry here just talking about this and the opportunities. So there's the lighter reds are out there. And I think that what's happened, and we tend to see things through a little bit of a monoculture. Napa dominates the wine world. And Napa, folks, is all about Cabernet and it's all about Chardonnay. There's approximately 7,000 grape varietals out there. When I say varietals, different types of grapes. And we're very focused in our world on 2 of them. And then there are so many other flavors out there. So my kind of early comment about just having oatmeal for the rest of your life, I mean, to me, that's the equivalent of just having a buttery Chardonnay and having that be the only thing you'll enjoy, or Cabernet, same thing. You're missing out on what you could do. So one of the things that's out there right now, and it's very popular, are reds that are blended. And so let me kind of dissect a couple of things I'm going to say, because I talk wine geeky better than I talk to, in real words to real human beings. When I say varietal, it's the different type of grape. And the different types of grapes are out there. And you can get an easy analogy. When you go into your local grocery store, there's a big giant rack of apples, and there's green ones. And then there's Granny Smith, and there's Pippin, and there's Golden Delicious. And we can all get our head wrapped around the fact that there's different apples and that they have different names and different flavors. Same thing with grapes, guys. And so Zinfandel is a grape. Cabernet Sauvignon is a grape. Sauvignon Blanc is a grape. Merlot is a grape. Grenache is a grape. All those different words that people that you see on California wine labels denote the different kind of apple, if you can make that analogy work. Now, what isn't a grape? Apothic Red is not a grape. Okay, that is a Gallo product, and it's made in very large industrial lots. And you can make the blends where you can call them anything you want. There's a rule that the federal government put in place, and it says if you're going to have 100 or a wine that you call Sangiovese, it has to have at least 76% Sangiovese grapes in there, 24% anything else. And that allows the winemakers some flexibility to make the best wines that they can. I'm going to start off today with our Renegade Red. And this was kind of a fun thing that follows into Wynn's lead in with us. One spring day when we were under the house making wine in Pollock Pines, we put the wrong hose in the wrong tank. And we said, what's that? I said, well, I think that's Renegade Red because we just broke all the rules and we're pirates now. And so that's been one of our stalwart standbys for a really long time. It's actually in a couple of 6 different Costco's now. So one of the breakthrough points for small wineries is to get an item into Costco and enter into that kind of different level of commerce. This wine also won 2 different Best of Class awards last year at the state level, which California, let's call it the national level, but one of them was Best of Class for a red blend at the California State Fair. And, those are good accolades for, a bunch of hillbillies up in the mountains with a forklift. And so we're pretty proud of our successes, and you'll hear me talk about them a number of times during this because I'm rolling out the good stuff, guys. I'm not gonna brag about stuff that I don't love. So Renegade Red is a 6-way blend. It's different every year. And we take kind of, I won't say the leftovers, but the elements, we may have a bumper crop of Zinfandel one year and a bumper crop of Merlot another year, and you can lead your blend with that. And so this one is, in fact, Merlot and Mourvedre, which I'll get into what that is in a minute here. It's got some Petit Syrah in it as well to give it some depth, and it's got some Grenache. So it's a non-traditional blend, which makes it a Renegade. And if you look carefully at the definition of renegade, it says one who operates above or beyond the law. And we like to think that we started as bootleggers and we'll probably die as bootleggers. That's the American tradition, isn't it? Hey, I saw Bill. I hope there's something in that cup, Bill. If it's clear, it's white wine. I get it. I get it. So why am I talking about that particular wine? Blends have the most versatility, folks. When you're pulling out like a pesto, like I was saying, or you're pulling out something tomato based, red wine's a great match with that. And it doesn't have to be a meat match at all. My wife and I, just kind of by what we eat, we go meatless a couple, maybe 3 times a week, just because you eat less as you get a little bit more of this hair color. And we also lived in France in the 90s for a couple of years, which was really cool in terms of my learning a whole lot about grapes and winemaking and just seeing the tradition from the European side of things. But also the European diet is not as heavy on meat as the California or the United States diet is. Californians, I think, are a little bit more of an exception to the American rule because we have access to so much amazing produce. And so avocado, for instance, and we'll find that almost anything we do, one of our favorite things to do is salad niçoise. And when you don't have a white wine with that, we find that the Renegade Red's a really nice pairing with that. I'm going to prove that to you by just having some right now. One of the perks of this job. So the other thing with a plant-based diet is that you don't have the same absorption rate of alcohol that you do with meat. And so you tend to want to drink a little bit less for the effect. I can tell you in a strange way, and I don't know the answer why. Our alcohol levels have gone down over the last 4 or 5 years. And while this might break Tina's heart, what we're finding is our alcohols are more in the 13-ish range and less in the 15-ish range. And we have not pinned down why that is yet. That's a variable that is just coming out of the results. I think that lower alcohol wines are a little bit healthier. They're a little bit more in demand at the market level, so it hasn't hurt us. But where we used to pride ourselves in 15% alcohol wines, we've moved away from that, and I think Mother Nature is doing most of that work for us. So what the plant-based element as well, because you're not as focused on that, if you will, cleansing of the meat, the fat that meat carries out of your mouth, you don't need the big tannins. And what a lot of people who like wine but don't like red wines are put off by the sharpness, the acidity, and the tannins associated with red wine. And you'll find that some other people will say that they don't like red wines because of the sulfites. But I can tell you that white wines have about 2 times or more the sulfites that red wines do. And so most people who react to red wines, it's typically histamines. And so that's an interesting thing to react to. You can fix it with Benadryl, but 4 Benadryls and going wine tasting is usually not the ticket for a good day. It's you better have somebody driving. Maybe 2 Benadryls is like, don't mow the lawn either. So what's going on then with these lighter wines, and especially in the Sierra foothills? I could talk a little bit about where we are, which is halfway between Sacramento and South Lake Tahoe. We're at 3,000 feet, and tonight it's going to snow here. And so, yeah, you can make wine in snow country, but obviously you want to get the grapes off the vine long before that. The thing that goes on around here is the soil is a real interesting amalgamation of a lot of different components. The Sierra Nevadas on the western side, on the Pacific slope, are the remnants of a very, very, very old mountain range. And that's where they found all the minerals in California. It's 11 miles from us is where the gold rush started. And because of this older soil, and I think it's not an alluvial place, so where soil collects between mountains, what we're finding around here is we don't have a lot of tannins in the wine. All right, there's another geeky wine word. What's a tannin? So tannins are what is in tea, tannins are what is in coffee, tannins are what is in dark chocolate, and tannins is what is in red wine. And so those are when you see a high tannin wine, you'll sip some, and it's that drying feeling. It makes you almost feel like you want to blow red dust out of your mouth. It can dry your mouth out that much. You think of a Napa Cab or a Bordeaux. Those are the wines that typically carry the most tannin, kind of for your own mental marker on that. So what I picked today to talk about, this is Sangiovese, and that's a lot of Italian cuisine carries Sangiovese because it's called Chianti there. And another wine that I picked is called Mourvèdre, and Mourvèdre is from the area in southern France where a lot of the ratatouille comes from, which is all these are really kind of nice vegetable-based dishes. So one of the things I can do is I can ship to you. If you get on our website, it's crystalbasin.com. I think Wynn said that we ship to about 44 states. And there are some that sadly we can't do that to. But we really are proud that we've been able to take our little project under the house and be able to make a nationwide kind of imprint with it. I'm actually working on a deal with to go ship some of our wines to Canada. And you'll like this package. This is kind of an innovative package that we do. This is a pouch, 1.5 liters. This particular product is called Chateau Mofo.
It travels very well.
It does. And if you're an outdoor, living kind of sort of a person, it's a great thing because you can carry it places. You don't have to pack out glass. And so the coolest thing is being able to share the wines, folks. I mean, if you take one thing away from this, 2 things away. I think you understand what varietals are. You understand maybe what tannins are. And then my advice on this is real simple. The best thing you can do with wine is to share it. And so I encourage you folks to take that to heart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Or Mike,
Thank
I got you,
so
Bill.
much, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate all of it. Everybody give him a warm thank you for being here this afternoon.
Happy to
Thank you
participate. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. Before I introduce Vicky, I'd like to say thank you to Tina for helping us get Mike on the line. Appreciate everything you do, Tina, and I appreciate you as a fellow 2018-19 district governor. I want to thank Bill McElroy, who's really put things together here today, managed the breakout rooms, and I'm going to turn it over to Vicky, and Vicky's going to close out the session. As a reminder, Mike's going to stick around and have another glass of wine while we wrap up, and you can talk to him afterwards. So, Vicky.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you, Mike. That was fabulous. You're right in my district, and I'm watching the snow coming over the mountains. So, hello, everybody. You know, it is so inspiring to see how Rotarians are navigating this new reality. It's been highlighted over this weekend, how Rotarians are adapting to change, how they're demonstrating flexibility, connecting, leading, and serving in new ways, and approaching the future with relentless positivity. I just wanted to give you an update on a couple of things. One of them is to let you know that we just completed governor-elect and governor nominee training completely online. This started in August. We had weekly assignments, you may remember pre-work, and we had Zoom calls on 12 consecutive Monday nights. The training culminated this week after 3 days on Zoom. Now, I can hear some of you groaning about all of this Zoom, but I have to tell you, in some ways, this training was superior to what we've done in the past. And as an example, despite never meeting in person, our governor's nominee have created relationships, friendships, and a strong team with their classmates. So along with all of you, we're learning through this experience how to use technology and how to maximize the benefits of technology, as well as prioritizing and thinking ahead about how we can maximize our precious face-to-face time when that becomes available to us again. As another update, International Assembly will also be conducted online, and that's going to be February 1st through February 11th. There are going to be 6 general sessions, and they will be recorded and available to all of us after the event. The district governors-elect will also attend 7 breakouts with their colleagues from all over the world. Partners will have their own sessions in addition to being welcome to the general sessions. We're going to be using an event platform that's used to help facilitate networking among the district governors-elect and their partners, as well as other activities, including a marketplace and resources upon demand. So you can all imagine just how sad and disappointed the governors-elect are not to have that International Assembly experience that each of us enjoyed so much. But I need to tell you that these people are so committed. They are committed to their preparation. They're committed to working in continuity with their governor line. They're committed to making a positive difference with their service. They are unwavering in their realism, their optimism, and their passion for Rotary. So it was really interesting to be here today and to be able to talk in small groups about ideas about how each of us as past district governors can make a difference and help grow our Rotary family. So maybe you were in the groups that shared the ideas about how you can help make the club experience valuable for members, or maybe you were in one of the groups that explored how you can support starting a new club. I have to tell you, I was so excited to hear the ideas that you came up with and how positive you were about that. You know, I want to say that it's important that we realize, and I want to be really clear, that we need both of these approaches to make Rotary stronger. We need to support our current clubs and we need to start new clubs. It's not either or, it's yes and. And as past district governors, we need you to be a positive part of this conversation to identify opportunities to help Rotary thrive. Using your knowledge, your experience, your influence to grow our Rotary family. I was just chatting with Jarita in the chat box, and she pointed out that often PDGs are an untapped resource. You know, you can be a catalyst for change and help move the culture of our organization forward to increasing our impact, expanding our reach, enhancing participant engagement, increasing our ability to adapt. And those are the four priorities of our action plan, of our new strategic plan. And so if you haven't already heard those, you're going to be hearing those a lot more in the future. You know, what has worked for us in the past may not necessarily work for us in the future. But we heard from Cliff Docterman this morning that change is not new for Rotary, and neither is pressing forward in the face of uncertainty to make Rotary, to make our communities, or to make our world better. We need you as past district governors, as elders of our organization, as mentors, as friends, to be part of the path forward. We can use this pandemic as an opportunity to look at things differently. Let's ask ourselves why we care so much about this organization, and then what we can do to make it stronger, more resilient, more valuable, more relevant. You know, I was participating on a diversity panel the other day, and I heard a young man pose the question, what have you changed your mind about recently? And he brought up that question as a way for us to be open to some new ideas and maybe to face the challenges with humility. And so I ask you, what have you changed your mind about recently? It's an interesting question. You know, now more than ever, people in our communities are searching for ways to connect, to be part of something larger than themselves, and to serve. Now, some of those people are Rotarians, but many of them are not. And so I look to you to say, what can each of us do to provide that gift of Rotary to more people who share our core values, who want to develop friendships with like-minded people, who want to be part of creating lasting change? What can each of us do to make sure those Rotarians in our clubs are getting value and joy from their experience? What will your role be in making Rotary stronger? You know, the world needs Rotary now more than ever before. And I truly believe that our finest days are ahead. I so look forward to embracing this opportunity with you, and I hope to see all of you in Tucson in 2021. Nice job, Bill.
There we go.
So I'm not sure if Wynn wanted to say any last words, but I wanted to thank Wynn Schoeneman. I wanted to thank Ray Klingensmith, Bill McElroy, and Jarita for bringing us all together in this way. I think it's just fabulous. The Institute has been incredible. And so over to you, Wynn, for any last words.
Well, Vicki, thank you for the support in being here. I really appreciated the opportunity to work with you on this, and your experience has been invaluable. I gotta say, I really enjoyed working with Ray. Just down to earth, easy to get along with, and anybody who gets a chance to have him be a speaker, I don't know if he's willing or not. I'm putting you out there, Ray. He just was really, really fun to work with. So appreciate it. And once again, please give a round of applause to Bill McElroy. I mean, the guy just really, really stepped into it and saved my butt a couple of times here. So thank you for everything. And once again, thank all of you guys for being here today. I appreciate it. And with much aloha, hui ho.
Yeah, Mike's online if in case you have any questions with the wine guy afterwards.
There you go. He's going to hang out here for a little bit. So if you got questions or want to just connect with him and find out where he's at, we'll be here for a little while. We're not turning this off.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Vicki. Thanks, Jarita.
Sorry about the elder word, Janice.